Part 28. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 271. Third uncle, your money is the least in your opinion. It is probably only 50,000, but this is just what you think. You could earn 5,000 per month before, but all of it was given to third aunt, but third aunt turned around. 1,000 was given every month to his brother's child, her nephew, for 7 years. 6 people opened their eyes at the same time, their faces full of shock. How can it be? How could Jiaoningsun know exactly how much money their family had? And you still know it so clearly? Jiao Jianmo looked at his second brother. You actually have investment? You invested in an internet cafe, why don't you give me a hand? Do you look down on me? Do you think I don't have money to invest? I was good to you when I was a child, and this is how you repay me as your big brother of. Jiao Jianzhou hurriedly explained, brother, of course I didn't mean that. It's just that I had a hard time convincing my friend to give me some shares. If I drag you in and you are not familiar with him, you will offend him. I may not be able to divide the shares. Jiao Jianmo said angrily, you'd better tell the truth, otherwise none of our brothers will be able to do it in the future. Jiao Jianzhou, it's really the truth. Jiao Jianyu suddenly turned his head to look at his wife, his voice trembled with anger, you actually give money to your natal family every month? And it's been going on for 7 years? I just said that I used to give money to your mother's family every month. You have a lot of money, why do you only have 50,000 yuan at home? I didn't expect you to use it all to support your parents' family. 12,000 yuan a year, 84,000 yuan in 7 years, I can buy a car and drive it, it cost me so much money. Lu Yuero frowned and said, don't listen to her nonsense. How can I give money to my parents' family? Jiaoningsun is too evil. How did she know about this? Only she and her natal family know about this matter. It is impossible for her natal family to tell this matter. Jiaoningsun smiled and said, third uncle, you can check the bank statements and it will be clear at a glance. Lu Yuero's expression changed and she hurriedly said, husband, don't listen to Jiaoningsun. She has always hated us. She must have deliberately provoked a relationship between the two of us, so that she would be happy. On purpose, Jiao Jianyu said with a gloomy look on his face, take out your mobile phone, click on the mobile banking, and give me all the passwords. I want to see your bank card transactions. Lu Yuero clenched her phone tightly, her face full of reluctance. Seeing this situation, Jiao Jianyu didn't understand anything, so he suddenly slapped Lu Yuero on the face. You're a rip-off bitch, how dare you do this to me, I'll beat you to death. Lu Yuero was caught off guard and did not stand firm. She hit her head straight against the iron door and fainted instantly. Seeing this, Lu Hehua stepped forward to check Lu Yuero's breathing, and rolled her eyes, Ningxun, look at your third aunt, she is almost out of breath. Jiao Ningxun said coldly, it's none of my business if she's out of breath, and she's just pretending to be faint, just to avoid the third uncle's questioning. This kind of tricking my third uncle into not raising his biological parents, but using me, anyone who uses his third uncle's money to support his mother's brother deserves to be beaten. Ye Kaixiang originally wanted to see Lu Yuero's condition, but when she heard what Jiaoningsun said, she took back the foot she had just stepped out. He turned around and walked to the side, holding a broom and started chasing people away, get out of here quickly, I haven't been raised by you for a day, and I don't owe you either. With so much money in my hand, I dare to come and do misery. I can't beat you to death. Next time I come back, I'll beat you to pieces. Several people were beaten several times, and they really had no shame to stay, so they had no choice but to leave. Seeing that Lu Yuero was still lying down, Ye Kaixiang couldn't help but kick her a few times, get up and get out quickly, so as not to dirty the ground of my house. Liu Ero was kicked so hard that she could only get up and run. Closing the door, Ye Kaixiang exclaimed, "It's really too much. Every time I see a big addition to our house, it's like applying dogskin plaster. I'm disgusting." Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Grandma, why don't you go live in a villa in the city? It's very quiet there, so out of sight is out of mind." Ye Kaixiang shook her head without thinking much. "Forget it, I can't live in the city. As we are used to, there are fields here, we have to watch them." "All right." Zhang Zayadai, who heard the commotion and ran out to see what was going on, saw her owners walking back, so she walked back too. Chiao Ningxun noticed her situation and came to the door of her room. "Sister Zhang, just work here with peace of mind. I will not listen to my three uncles' suggestions. To put it nicely, it's my uncle. To put it bluntly, they are just blood relatives who have offended me." Zhang Zayadai breathed a sigh of relief. "Okay, little boss." Time flew by, and September 26 soon came. Xingxia Garment Factory has also been completely changed to the name of Chiao Ningxun. Previously, Chiao Ningxun said that she would give Director Zhou a position, but she was too lazy to recruit people for management, so she directly gave him the position of Deputy Director. If she were not in the factory, everyone in the factory would listen to him. It's just that she can't let the clothing factory reproduce the old styles. She is a young person, so of course she has to produce what young people like. Therefore, starting from the past few days, she used her free time every day to draw a lot of autumn clothing design drawings and handed them to Deputy Factory Director Zhou to follow them for production. And told them that her clothes must be made of good materials and workmanship. It doesn't matter if they cost a little more, but the quality must be good. So far, she is very satisfied with the clothing styles she has made. Vice Factory Director Zhou also sent people to actively look for sales channels. Although today is a school day, Chiao Ningxun and several other classmates from the school are at Nanjing University, preparing to participate in the Nanjing High School Students' Women's 800-meter long-distance running competition. The students from the No. 1 middle school in Nanjing are Chiao Ningxun, Shen Yujia, and Lian Zixuan. At this time, the three of them were waiting in the waiting area. Even though the three of them have to participate in the same race, because Chiao Ningxun spends her spare time training every time, the other two have never run with her. Shen Yujia looked at Chiao Ningxun next to her. "Hello, I am Shen Yujia from Class 1, Grade 3. Are you He Yuanyang's cousin?" Chiao Ningxun nodded. "Yes, hello, I am Chiao Ningxun." Shen Yujia looked at Lian Zixuan again. "She is Lian Zixuan, she is in Class 7, Grade 2, and she is my cousin." Chiao Ningxun turned around and said, "Hello." Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan saw that Chiao Ningxun talked little, so they felt embarrassed to say anything more. Chiao Ningxun glanced at the two of them meaningfully. In just a moment, she already knew their past and future. Teacher Wei suddenly came over and gave them some precautions. In the 800-meter competition for female high school students in Nanjing City, the preliminaries, semi-finals, and finals are all on the same day. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 272. There are a total of 58 high schools in the main urban area of Nanjing City, and a total of 100 high schools in the suburban counties. If each high school had to send 3 girls to participate in the competition, the preliminaries would take a lot of time. Hence, all participating students must meet the competition standards to participate in today's competition. In addition to the competition standards, they must also reach the perfect score of 800 meters for Chinese female high school students. If there are not enough people to achieve full marks, then the number of people with perfect marks will be counted. Those who do not meet the standards are not even qualified to compete today. Each school must submit everyone's video for the competition. Generally speaking, no fake videos are allowed. Of course, There are also people who want to fake it so that students can compete. But when I think about it, if I cheat, my grades will be too different from others, and I will definitely be exposed, so no one will want to cheat. There are a total of 80 students participating in the competition today, coming from 60 high schools. Some schools can allow 3 people to participate, while some schools cannot allow 1 person to participate. Nanjing No. 1 Middle School, including Jiaoningsuan, a total of 3 people participated this year. The preliminary rounds are held first, and the order is determined by drawing lots. The top 30 will be selected from the preliminaries to participate in the semi-finals, and the top 8 will be selected from the semi-finals to participate in the finals. The competition is also fierce. Jiaoningsuan, Shenyujia, and Lianzixuan were divided into 3 groups. Shenyujia is in the first group, Lianzixuan is in the third group, and Jiaoningsuan is in the 6th group. At this time, all 3 people are in the waiting area, waiting for the game. Long time later, as expected, 3 students from Nanjing No. 1 Middle School all entered the semifinals. When Principal Yao of Nanjing No. 1 Middle School saw this, he was still heartbroken. Every time the school participates in sports competitions, he is the most nervous. There was nothing he could do about it. Although the students at his school were very good at reading, they placed him at the bottom several times in sports. You must know that his No. 1 middle school has the first name in his name, and his cultural scores are among the best in the city, but he always gets the last place in sports, which makes him unable to hold his head up after every sports competition. The results of the 3 students in the preliminaries were not very good. Although it is normal for scores to be pressed in the preliminaries, in order to prevent others from seeing their true strength, it is normal for the students of No. 1 middle school to be pressed for cultural scores. Can sports competitions be pressed for scores? I won't believe it even if I beat him to death. Principal Yao has a sad face. When will their school produce a person who is versatile in sports and culture, making No. 1 middle school proud? Seeing Teacher Wei next to him looking relaxed, Principal Yao felt a little unbalanced. He, a principal, is so nervous here. As the person who selects contestants, why can he be so relaxed? Ahem. Principal Yao suddenly coughed lightly. Teacher Wei, the preliminaries results are over. You said that the 3 female students you selected this time have a chance to be in the top 3 based on their results. No, the top 10? Before Teacher Wei came today, he did not tell the principal that there was a good prospect like Jiaoningsuan. He firmly believes that before something is successful, he cannot speak out rashly, otherwise it will definitely fail. Although Jiaoningsuan entered the semi-finals at this time, he still did not intend to say that Jiaoningsuan's best ranking in the school was enough to win first place. President Yao, let's relax. I feel, this time all 3 students have entered the semi-finals. It should be a good beginning. Maybe the students can get the rankings. You said it was not said. Principal Yao was very helpless and continued to wait for the semifinals to begin. Although the competition time is very tight, everyone is equally tired, so it is not fair or unfair. Jiaoningsuan, Shenyujia, and Lianzixuan were also divided into 3 groups this time. Principal Yao continued to watch nervously. I just didn't expect that the students from No. 1 middle school performed very well this time, and all of them successfully entered the finals. Principal Yao looked at Teacher Wei in disbelief. This year, all the female students in our school actually entered the finals. Teacher Wei smiled and said, yes. Principal Yao frowned and said, I heard that the students participating are all sophomores or seniors in high school. Except for Jiaoningsuan, I know he is a transfer student. Why didn't the other 2 participate in the competition last year? Had they participated, he might have been proud last year. He clearly remembered that last year, only 2 people in the school met the standards to participate in the competition. But even so, those 2 people didn't even make it to the semifinals. And his results in the preliminaries were also last. Teacher Wei, Shen Yujia had a death in her family last year, and she was not in a very good mood throughout the semester, so her results did not meet the standards. This year she adjusted her mentality, so her speed increased and she met the competition standards. Lian Zixuan was not feeling well at this time last year and did not meet the competition standards, so I asked others to participate in the competition. Principal Yao sighed, so that's it? After waiting for a while, the finals began. Teachers in all schools became nervous again. Especially Principal Yao, seeing 3 students from his school entering the finals, greatly increasing his chances of winning the top 3, he felt unprecedentedly nervous. After a while, it was time for them to take the stage. As the starting gun sounded, the 3 people and people from other schools rushed out at the same time. Xiao Shulan did not go to Joe's Fresh Food today, but came over with her parents to cheer for her daughter. Xiao Shulan was extremely nervous when she saw that her daughter was currently ranked 3rd. When Xiao Ningxun ran half a lap, Xiao Kongsheng said nervously, "Is Ningxun okay? Didn't you say before that she likes to always be ranked 1st? Why is she ranked 3rd today?" Xiao Shulan knew that if she was anxious, her parents would definitely be even more anxious, so she pretended to be calm and said, "I don't know either. I just heard from Yuan Hui that there are skills in running. You should do your best in the beginning and the last lap. She has no energy, maybe her physical education teacher taught her some tricks." Ye Kaixiang said, "I've also heard that you shouldn't run too hard at the beginning. Let's take a look." At this time, Teacher Wei saw that Jiao Ningxun had been in the top 3, and finally had the confidence to explain, "Principal Yao, you see that Jiao Ningxun's results are still very stable. Our school will definitely get the ranking this time. In the future, our school will no longer in the eyes of other schools, he has a strong mind and simple limbs." Principal Yao also saw Xiao Ningxun's ranking at this time, and said with a look of resentment, "Teacher Wei, when did you not say this? But what happened in the end? We were not ranked at the bottom, and I don't know if our school was cursed by the sports gods. One year, it was clear that someone from our school had already entered the top 5, but he suddenly had a stomachache and went from 5th to last. There is still 1 year left, and one person from our school has been ranked 1st, but suddenly fell down in the last half lap. Although he is not the last one, he is the 3rd from the bottom. Compared with the last one, it is not better. Where to go? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 273. Chapter 273. Jiao Ningxun won 1st place. 1 year, there was still a person who finished in the top 3, but when there was still 1 lap left, he suddenly fainted and was eventually sent to the hospital. All in all, every time I think students might get 1st place, something goes wrong. I don't believe there won't be any accidents in our school this year. Teacher Wei was worried when Principal Yao said this and looked at Jiao Ningxun who was running. That's right, there were indeed good running prospects in the school in some years before, but accidents would happen in the process. Uninformed outsiders think that Nanjing No. 1 Middle School only has students with strong minds and is very weak in sports. Hope this time, everything goes smoothly. The principals of other schools heard their conversation with a proud smile on their faces. How could No. 1 Middle School be their students' rival? This year will definitely be the same as before, and there will be situations. What is the use of being ranked 3rd among students in No. 1 Middle School? Having the ability, at the end of the day, he was ranked 3rd. Soon, Jiao Ningxun completed a lap. At this time, she is still ranked 3rd? She did not use any magical formulas, she just relied on her own abilities. It would be unfair to other people if you use immortal formulas. And she was worried that if she was not careful, If she ran a time shorter than the World Championship, it would be too high profile. At this moment, a student behind her saw that he could not surpass Jiaoning, so he tried his best to get close to her and gasped, this classmate, please let me, as long as you let me enter the top 3, I can give you 10,000 yuan. Even if you finish in the top 3, this is just a city competition, and the scholarship given to you by the school may not be 10,000 yuan. If you agree, you can slow down. Let me be in the top 3. Jiaoning frowned. She said such empty words, did she really think she would believe it? 10,000 yuan to buy the honor she brought to the school is simply a fool's errand. She bets that as long as she gets the ranking, even if she comes to the door, the person behind her will not admit that she said she gave her money. At that time, she will only suffer the loss of being dumb. She turned her head to glance at the speaker, then turned her head again. This person's family has average conditions, but her school's bonus is much more generous than that of number 1 middle school. No wonder she can say that she will give 10,000 yuan. Wait a minute, among those who participated in running in the past few years, was it possible that some of them were bribed with money and deliberately lost the race? No way. Are there really people with such little knowledge? No, there must be people from poor family backgrounds who come to participate in the competition, and it is true that they may be tempted by the conditions of those people. Even if those people fail to fulfill their promises afterwards, the athletes from number 1 middle school would not dare to say anything. After all, no one would be stupid enough to say something like deliberately losing a game and embarrassing one's alma mater. With more than half a lap left before the end of the race, Qiao Shulan was extremely nervous. Why is Ningxun still in third place? Has she run out of energy? Qiao Kongsheng said with a smile, I can run the third place among the girls in Nan'an City High School. I think it's not bad. Ye Kaixiang nodded, indeed. Qiao Shulan, but we are only a few steps away from the first place. I think it's a pity to take third place. The two elders nodded, that's true. Principal Yao was a little surprised when he saw that Jiaoningsun's grades were indeed very stable. Is there finally someone in our school who can be in the top 3? Teacher Wei coughed slightly, maybe. God, please don't get into trouble this year. It's just that Jiaoningsun's grades in school were very good before, so why is he always in third place this time? Wrong. Teacher Wei soon discovered something was wrong. Although Jiaoningsun had been in the third position, several people had changed in the first and second positions. You can always be in the third position, which is very skillful, just like controlling your scores in an exam. Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan were also running with all their strength. But there is indeed a big gap between them and students from other schools. Even though they were among the top runners in school, in the finals of the city's competition, they were really only at the bottom. At this time, they were ranked 7th and 8th respectively. They came with the mentality of focusing on participation from the beginning. After all, with the strength of number 1 middle school, it is impossible for them to be in the top 3. They feel that they can reach the finals this time, which is much better than in previous years. But seeing Jiaoningsun always in the third position, they were also extremely surprised. In order not to fall too far behind Jiaoningsun, they also ran as hard as they could. After working hard for a while, they were actually ranked 5th and 6th. You can get 5th and 6th place in the finals, which is considered good among previous results. Principal Yao saw Jiaoningsun's good grades and suddenly became excited and shouted loudly, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Other teachers from number 1 middle school and staff from the principal's office saw this and shouted together. They dare not let the leader shout alone. When Teacher Wei saw this, he had no choice but to shout along. Sure enough, in the last half of the lap, Jiaoningsun suddenly started to accelerate. In just an instant, she passed the second place, and then quickly passed the first place. What's even more surprising is that she is getting further and further away from second place, as if she is getting more energetic as she runs. The teachers in number 1 middle school suddenly became quiet. What is going on? Is there such a powerful student in number 1 middle school? According to this situation, their number 1 high school might be ranked first this year? Is it possible? Is number 1 middle school number 1 in sports competitions? If you say anything, people will doubt whether it is true or false. Some teachers from other schools took off their glasses and wiped them, fearing that they had seen wrongly. On the track, the second and third placers saw this and chased forward desperately. The first and second place can only appear in number 6 middle school and number 8 middle school. This was the case every year before. If they lose first or second place this year, they will definitely be dissatisfied when they go back to school. It's just that no matter how hard they try, they can't surpass Jiaoningsun. Jiaoningsun finished first in the women's 800-meter race. Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan are really ranked 5th and 6th respectively. Most of the people present were shocked when they saw someone wearing a sports uniform from number 1 middle school taking first place. Am I right? This year I won the first place in no one. Is it the one with a developed mind and simple limbs? It seems so. It's Yizhong's clothes? How is it possible? Isn't number 1 middle school always at the bottom? Yeah, what's going on this year? Who is that person who ran first? If she could run first, why didn't she participate last year? I know this. She just transferred to number 1 middle school this year. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 274. The transfer students accepted by number 1 middle school either have very good grades or are from well-connected families. No, most of the well-connected students are dandy kids, but they don't have such good bodies. They must have good academic scores, good cultural scores, and good sports scores. What about other students? Is the school still alive? The principals of other schools looked a little ugly when they heard this. How come such a good seedling was picked up by Yizhong? Why did such a good seedling go to number 1 middle school? At the same time, Jiao Shulan saw that her daughter really came in first place and said excitedly, "Dad, Mom, Ningsun is indeed the first place. She is so proud." Jiao Kongsheng smiled and said, "As expected of us, the Jiao family." Yekaxiang also said, "Such a good daughter, that you and Deshan will regret it in the future." Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan were sincerely happy for Jiaoningsun when they saw she won the first place. Their rankings are not very good, but they are satisfied enough. This is already considered a very good result in the running history of number 1 middle school. As soon as the competition ended, many people came to congratulate Jiaoningsun and wanted to test her skills. After all, this is a city competition, and there will be provincial and national competitions in the future. There is such a dark horse in front of them. They don't know much about it, and they will definitely be suppressed by her. A reporter got ahead of everyone and pointed the microphone at Jiaoningsun. "Hello, classmate, I am a reporter from the Nanjing Cultural Station. What is your name? You won the first place in the number 1 middle school this year. Do you have what do you want to say?" Jiaoningsun looked at the camera and said with a smile, "Dear audience friends, hello everyone, I am Jiaoningsun, a sophomore in Nanjing number 1 middle school. I am honored to represent number 1 middle school in the competition today. I am also surprised to get the first place. I will continue to work hard in the future." Teacher Wei's mouth twitched. Today's running results are not as good as those he practiced in school before. Are you saying you are surprised? You are so humble. However, Jiaoningsun is still an ordinary person, and his mentality is not very stable. Otherwise, with her usual results, she would definitely stun the people here. The reporter wanted to ask her a few more questions, So Principal Yao came over and said, "Jiaoning Sun, great job, well done. You won first place this time. I will definitely praise you when you go back to school. Jiaoning Sun, this is what I should do." Who wouldn't say something modest? After all, I was a social animal for several years in my previous life. The reporter asked a few more questions and then went to interview the second and third place winners. At this moment, the principals of the 6th middle school and the 8th middle school also came over. Principal Yao also encouraged Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan. He turned around and saw the two principals coming over. He smiled and said, "I'm sorry, you two. You didn't get first place this year. You must feel very sad, right?" The two principals choked. The man's expression really looked like a nouveau riche at this moment. Jiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows. The relationship between the principals was not as good as she thought. The principal of number 6 middle school snorted, "It's just a competition. We also know that the first place cannot always appear in number 6 middle school and number 8 middle school, so we understand it." The principal of number 8 middle school looked very generous. "It's true. Number 6 middle school and number 8 middle school have always won the first place. We also feel that it's not very good for other schools. Even if we give up one place this year, it doesn't matter." Principal Yao, his face darkened. "You mean, you deliberately let your students let us get first place in the first grade?" The principal of number 8 middle school said shamelessly, "Yes." Jiao Ningxun was not happy. She didn't want her hard-earned results to be rumored to have been given away by others. "This is impossible," Jiao Ningxun said angrily. "If you lose, you lose. Why should the principal of number 8 middle school say let it go just for the sake of face? As we all know, the value of first place is very high, especially in number 8 middle schools that are interested in sports. I heard that there is a bonus of 50,000 for first place. Many people practice day and night for the 50,000 bonus. Otherwise I wouldn't have won so many firsts before number 8 middle school. Just now, the person from number 8 middle school only got third place. I heard that the third place got a bonus of 5,000 yuan. Did he give up the 45,000 yuan that he was going to get in order to listen to the principal? It seems that his family is rich. 45,000 people were told to let it go." The principal of number 6 middle school also looked ugly. If word spread, wouldn't it be said that his students' previous results were all because of number 8 middle school? The principal of number 8 middle school frowned and said, "As a student, you really don't know etiquette. Do you think it's great to get first place? Although I am not the principal of your school, I am also a teacher. Is this your attitude when talking to teachers?" Jiao Ningxun sighed and said, I don't dare, I was wrong. I will never say that again in the future. In order to calm your anger, you can punish me as you like, I accept it." Principal Yao stepped forward to protect Jiao Ningxun behind him. When the reporter saw the movement here and came over again, he also said in a strange way, "Principal of number 8 middle school, you have to be able to lose. How many of my students are in front of me? We were going to win this year, but we lost because of accidents. I didn't even say that I let you win on purpose. Why would you say that you lost to us on purpose for the sake of your own face? I can also say that my students did the same thing a few years ago. I lost to you on purpose. I know you feel bad after losing. Why do you come to trouble my student? She is just a child. As an elder, she should be more open-minded. My student didn't say anything wrong just now. Shouldn't you, seeing that she won first place, you want to deliberately scare her and cause trouble for her, so that she will not dare to participate in competitions in the future and make way for the students of your school, right?" Jiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows. She liked Principal Yao's character of being a protective person. When the principal of number 8 middle school saw the reporter's eyes shining brightly, as if he could become news as soon as he spoke, he had no choice but to cough lightly and said, I didn't say I couldn't afford to lose. I have 3 urgent needs, so I'll go and take care of myself first. The principal of number 6 middle school also left quickly. Both of their schools were upset in this year's competition, and reporters will definitely keep an eye on them. Staying any longer will only make you more embarrassed. Principal Yao turned around and looked at Jiaoningsun with a smile on his face. That's right, keep working hard in the future. You don't have to be afraid of them, they are just 2 old guys. From now on, you can scare them to death with your own results. Yes, Principal. Principal Yao looked at the other 2 students and said, your grades this year are also good, and you will be rewarded when you go back. Shen Yujia and Lian Zixuan were overjoyed at the same time. Thank you, Principal. The results of the finals are out, and the award ceremony will come soon. In order to encourage students, Nanjing City has its own reward system. This year's bonus is several times higher than in previous years. The first place will be awarded 30,000 yuan, the second place will be awarded 10,000 yuan, and the third place will be awarded 3,000 yuan. Of course, after returning to their respective schools, there are also rewards from the school. The rewards for number 1 middle school are divided into those sponsored by the school and private groups. Winning first place in this kind of competition that brings glory to the school adds up to a lot. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 275. After attending the award ceremony, the school invited the participating students and their families to have a meal, and then sent the students back to the school. The number 1 middle school also attaches great importance to this honor. Before the participating students returned to school, a banner had been pulled up at the main entrance of the school to congratulate Jiaoningsun for winning the Nanjing High School Women's 800-meter running championship. Zhou Anning is Jiaoningsun's class teacher. She is naturally very concerned about her students' participation in the competition. Before Jiaoningsun came back, she called Teacher Wei and asked about Jiaoningsun's results. So as soon as Jiaoningsun returned to the class, the whole class congratulated her with warm applause. Originally, she brought honor to the school today, so she could rest. But she was not tired at all and knew that her cousin would definitely want to congratulate her, so she went back to school. Seeing how enthusiastic everyone was, Jiaoningsun felt a little embarrassed even though she was thick-skinned. He Yuanhui said loudly, "Cousin, you are the most powerful." After saying that, he gave her the flowers that the class had prepared. Jiaoningsun looked at the bouquet in his hand with satisfaction. "Thank you, I like it very much." Zhou Anning walked into the classroom and said with a smile on her face, "Classmate Jiaoningsun, you are really awesome and you have brought glory to our school." Jiaoningsun smiled reservedly, "It's nothing, it's all what I should do. I hope everyone will exercise well in the future and strive to win glory for the school in sports." Zhou Anning was very satisfied with her modesty. Well said. Throughout the afternoon, Jiaoningsun would be praised by the teacher every time he met him. After school finally ended in the afternoon, Jiaoningsun looked at her deskmate. "Yuxiu, my family is going to celebrate me today. Will you go to dinner with me?" Yan Yuxiu was a little hesitant. "Your family members are having a gathering, so why don't I go there as an outsider?" Jiaoningsun smiled and said, "It's okay, my cousin and cousin already know you. You are my roommate, so it's okay to eat with me." Hearing this, Yan Yuxiu stopped being pretentious and agreed to follow her. When she has time, she will go to the gift shop near the school to choose a suitable gift for her. Of course, they are all from the same village. Jiaoningsun also called Guan Yiwen and Wei Dongchen. The group of people still went to the hotel where Li Fangfang took photos last time. Qiao Kongsheng has been obsessed with the place since he ate the food there last time. He quietly told Ye Kaixiang many times that he wanted to go there in the future, but Jiao Shulan heard it. Jiao Shulan has always felt that her parents' life was very difficult, and she is still angry with her 3 unfilial sons. Of course, their demands must be met as much as possible. Of course, since Li Fangfang was picked up by her family last time, she has not returned to school for half a month. Her parents were too embarrassed to let their daughter study in number 1 middle school anymore, and Li Fangfang did not want to go back to number 1 middle school again, so they had to find another school for her. The teacher from the school also called to ask about Li Fangfang's performance in number 1 middle school. Xiaochins happened to answer the call and told the truth about what she had done. For a time, many schools were unwilling to accept her. After all, few schools dare to accept students who love to make pornographic rumors. In the end, she had no choice but to spend more money to enroll her in a private high school under military management. The annual tuition and living expenses would cost at least 50,000 yuan. Cell phones are not allowed to prevent her from causing trouble. Because of this, her family became very poor. Her parents treated her badly for a long time, which made her extremely painful. Bai Yi and Zheng Xuanjiao saw Qiaoningsun and his party entering the hotel again, and they knew without thinking that they were going to eat. Zheng Xuanjiao said, "During this period, I often saw a BMW coming to pick up Qiaoningsun. One time I accidentally saw it, the driver even called her little boss." Little boss, Bai Yi frowned. Is Qiaoningsun's family so rich? Can he buy a BMW at will? Zheng Xuanjiao nodded. Her usual behavior does not look like someone who is short of money. The stationery she uses and the shoes she wears are not affordable for ordinary people. And she can charge a lot of money every month for treating people money. But her medical skills are really good. Even the fat girls in the class who have dysmenorrhea or poor skin have been treated with her, and they all like Qiaoningsun now. Now in their class, anyone who says a bad word about Qiaoningsun will be sprayed all over by the people she has treated. Bai Yi snorted, "What's so great about that? You're still studying with us." After saying that, she glanced at the hotel where Qiaoningsun went, and left with a look of jealousy on her face. She also really wanted to go to the hotel for dinner. However, the people pursuing her are still high school students, and if she goes to the hotel with them blatantly, she will definitely be misunderstood like the last time Qiaoningsun and He Yuanhui went there. That's all, she'll wait another 2 years. A few more days passed. The regulations of Nanjing number 1 middle school require that every grade and every month will have monthly exams, and they will all be on the same day. Therefore, Nanjing number 1 middle school was particularly quiet during the 2 days of monthly exams. Early on the morning of September 29, everyone arrived in the classroom as usual and reviewed nervously. Although He Yuanhui feels that his memory is getting better and better recently, his grades at the end of last semester were not very good, so he is still very nervous. Qiaoningsun saw that He Yuanhui's body was tensed up and stabbed him in the back. He Yuanhui was suddenly frightened and turned to look at Qiaoningsun resentfully. "Cousin, don't scare me, I'm nervous." "Qiaoningsun, I know your situation best. Just relax and don't be too nervous. The more nervous you are, the less you can remember and the less you know how to do it. You can definitely do it. With my cousin's ability, it is possible for him to be among the top 3 in the class this time." He Yuanhui was encouraged and nodded. "Okay, cousin." I don't know why, but he really seems to feel more relaxed. Qiaoningsun looked at Guan Yiwen again. "I also know your grades. I also taught you what you don't understand. Relax. The only time you should be nervous is during the college entrance examination." She had also given Guan Yiwen medicine to strengthen his body before, but she did not tell him that it could improve his memory. Guan Yiwen will definitely make great progress in this exam. Guan Yiwen nodded, but he was still a little nervous. After all, his grades were not very good before. In the past month, he asked if he didn't understand anything. Qiaoningsun also taught him a lot. He really wanted to know how much he could improve this time. Children from their Daguo village can enter a good school like number 1 middle school even though their grades are not very good. They have just caught up with Nanjing's special policy. Soon it was time for the exam, and the head teacher came in and handed out Chinese test papers. Chiao Ningsun took a look at the test paper and quickly started writing. Zhou Anning saw Chiao Ningsun's handwriting quickly and couldn't help but walk to her side and take a look. End of chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 276. Although I write quickly, my words are not ugly and my answers are all correct. She is indeed a student she likes. Zhou Anning felt relieved and went to read the writing by He Yuan Hui in front of Chiao Ningsun. Well, it's not bad. Although the writing is a bit slow, most of it is correct. Although it is not as fast and accurate as his cousin Chiao Ningsun, and his handwriting is not as beautiful as his cousin's, but compared with his results when he first entered number 1 middle school, it is still pretty good. Zhou Anning looked at Guan Yiwen again and nodded. I have heard from the monitor a long time ago that Chiao Ningsun tutored them after class, and it seemed to have some effect. At this moment, Zheng Xuanjiao suddenly raised his hand and said, "Report to the teacher." Zhou Anning turned around and asked, "What's wrong?" Many classmates also looked at Zheng Xuanjiao. Zheng Xuanjiao pointed at Chiao Ningsun. "Teacher, I just saw Chiao Ningsun cheating. She put the cheat sheet in the pocket of her jacket. You can find out after searching." Zhou Anning saw that other students had stopped writing and frowned. "What are you looking at? Hurry up and do the questions, there won't be enough time later." Those students had no choice but to immerse themselves in solving the questions. Zhou Anning hesitated for a moment and then said, "Chiao Ningsun, Zheng Xuanjiao, come out together." He Yuan Hui was anxious when he saw his cousin was called away, when he saw her giving him a reassuring look. He Yuan Hui had no choice but to continue sitting. Although he knew that his cousin was powerful, the speed of doing the questions was still much slower. In the corridor, Xiaojins had just inspected the Class 8 classroom when he saw Zhou Anning coming out with 2 students, and he hurried forward to ask. After listening to Zhou Anning's words, Xiaojins looked at Zheng Xuanjiao. "Do you really have evidence to prove that Chiao Ningsun cheated?" Zheng Xuanjiao said righteously, "Of course, I personally saw her put it in her bag." Zhou Anning asked Chiao Ningsun, "Did you really cheat?" Even though she asked this, she didn't believe that Chiao Ningsun would cheat. At the time of the entrance exam, Chiao Ningsun completed the questions neatly in front of her and all the office teachers. Chiao Ningsun sighed, "Classmate Zheng, I have never offended you, why did you frame me?" "I didn't frame you, I told the truth," Zheng Xuanjiao said. "Teacher, as long as you search her, you will know whether she is innocent." Chiao Ningsun raised her eyebrows. This person kept saying that she was being searched. It seemed that there was indeed something on her body. However, there is surveillance in front of the classroom. Just now she said that she cheated when Zhou Anning was blocking the surveillance. Even if the surveillance is adjusted, it cannot prove her innocence. For the present plan, it seems that the only solution is to retaliate with Furtat. Chiao Ningsun suddenly opened her hand and said, "Teacher Zhou, go ahead and search. If Zheng Xuanjiao searches, I'm worried that she will put the evidence in." "Okay, I've wronged you." Zhou Anning nodded and quickly searched her body. But she searched all the bags on Chiao Ningsun's body twice and found nothing, not even a mobile phone. Zheng Xuanjiao's face became uglier the more he looked at it. How could that be possible? She clearly stuffed a note into Chiao Ningsun's bag out of the reach of surveillance while she was in the toilet. For this day, she also took a peek at Chiao Ningsun's composition and took a lot of photos, intending to imitate her handwriting. Fortunately, in her opinion, Jiao Ningxun's handwriting was almost the same as hers as long as she wrote it faster, which saved her a lot of effort. Just why is the note gone? Did she find out in advance that she had already thrown it in the trash can? But she and Bai Yi took turns monitoring her today, and they didn't see her approaching the trash can. Zhou Anning searched 3 times in total, then turned to look at Zheng Xuanjiao displeasedly. You just said it was true, but now you haven't found anything. What do you have to say? Zheng Xuanjiao said nervously, I clearly saw her putting the note in the bag. You still said Xiaoqin's was also angry. It's exam time now. Are you deliberately making trouble for others so that they can't hand in their papers? I don't, no. Jiao Ningxun suddenly said, since I have been searched, why not also search the body of classmate Zheng? I suspect that she deliberately framed me, thinking that she put the note on me, but in fact she was too nervous, failed to release. The note is still on her body. Zheng Xuanjiao felt relieved. How could she be so stupid as to put a note on herself? As long as nothing can be found from her, then she and Jiao Ningxun can be considered even, as both were wrongly accused by the other party. Zheng Xuanjiao said in a pitiful tone, Teacher Zhou, I did see Jiao Ningxun cheating just now, but I don't know why it wasn't found out. Since Jiao Ningxun is not convinced, he wants to search me too. Just search, I am not afraid of slanting shadows. Zhou Anning was helpless and had no choice but to go forward and search. As soon as she put her hand into the left pocket of Zheng Xuanjiao's jacket, she took out a piece of paper. Open it and you will see that it is a Chinese word. Jiao Ningxun sneered, trapping her with the magic of retrieving objects from the air was simply asking for her own death. Zheng Xuanjiao was feeling aggrieved. When he saw that the note was found out from his body, his pupils shrank suddenly. How is it possible? How could it be on me? It's obviously on Jiao Ningxun's body. Is it true that as Jiao Ningxun said, she was too nervous and mistakenly thought she put the note into Jiao Ningxun's bag, but it was actually still in her hand? Xiaoqin stepped forward and took a look, his face darkened. What else do you have to say now? Zheng Xuanjiao hurriedly said, no. It's not me. I didn't cheat. I don't know how this note ended up on me. I was wronged. Zhou Anning said quietly, I have been teaching you for more than a year and I am familiar with everyone's handwriting. This is your handwriting. Do you need me to compare it with your homework right away? Zheng Xuanjiao choked and lowered his head in despair. What's going on? Zhou Anning, go to the office and stand. You don't have to take the Chinese test. If you don't do well, you don't have to take the exams in the afternoon and tomorrow. I will ask your parents to pick you up. Zheng Xuanjiao nodded while crying and walked slowly to the office. It's over, her reputation is all over. She only dared to do it herself because she was sure she could succeed this time. If she knew what the result would be, she would not do anything. Jiao Ningxun returned to the classroom again. When the others saw that Jiao Ningxun was back but Zheng Xuanjiao was not, they immediately understood something. It was estimated that Jiao Ningxun was in trouble again. Although it took a few minutes, Jiao Ningxun always wrote very quickly and finished it an hour ahead of schedule. There was still a lot of time, so she didn't waste it and tried to practice with her eyes open. She discovered a few days ago that there is a lot of greenery in number 1 middle school. Although the effect of practicing is not very good, it is better than not practicing at all. End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 277. Chapter 277. A very powerful kid. So if anyone noticed her at this time, they would find that she seemed to be in a trance and didn't even move her body. But if Chu Yanyi and Lu Jing'ai were here, they could see a lot of fairy energy surrounding her body, sometimes coming out of her body, sometimes returning to her body, falling into a cycle. People around her seemed to be affected by her fairy spirit. They didn't know why, but they suddenly felt that the air around them suddenly became very fresh and refreshing. They were still very nervous, but suddenly they relaxed their bodies. He Yuan Hui and Guan Yiwen felt that the ideas in their minds were getting clearer and their attention was becoming more and more focused. Zhou Anning felt even more pity for Qiao Ningxun when she saw that she was in a daze and hadn't moved for a long time. Although Qiao Ningxun looked relaxed just now, being framed for cheating must have had an impact on her psychology. The way she looked disapproving just now must have been just pretending to be strong. Let's clear her name later. Therefore, after the exam, Zhou Anning collected the test papers and said loudly before the students left, "Everyone, it was not Qiao Ningxun who cheated just now. It was Zheng Xuanjiao who deliberately framed her. She was just too nervous, so she didn't put the note in her mouth, put it successfully. I know that after we have been together for a year, some of you cannot accept transfer students. I am here to tell you that since you have entered this classroom, we will be classmates for the past 2 years, and classmates should help each other. If I find someone engaging in frame up again, Li Fangfang's current fate will most likely be yours, do you understand?" Even though he told the truth like this, Zheng Xuanjiao's reputation was completely ruined. As a teacher who teaches and educates people, this is indeed inappropriate. After all, he is still a minor and will always make mistakes while growing up. He should be given a chance. But if she didn't tell the truth, a person who had just brought honor to the school would spread such a scandal, which would definitely affect the school's honor. This is something that the entire school and the principal would not allow. The students said in unison, "I understand." There was still half an hour until school was over. After Zhou Anning left, the students took the time to go to the toilet or review the upcoming exams. He Yuan Hui turned around and said, "Cousin, are you okay?" Qiao Ningxun smiled and said, "I'm fine, nothing's wrong at all. I'm very mentally strong." He Yuan Hui breathed a sigh of relief, "That's good." He knew that Bai Yi, Zheng Xuanjiao and Li Fangfang were all in the same group. They all confessed to him, but they were rejected by him, and they all resented him. Cousin must still be under his influence. Bai Yi was not far away, looking at Qiao Ningxun with a cold face. As expected, he was not an easy one to deal with. Unexpectedly, Zheng Xuanjiao was in trouble this time. He Yuan Hui noticed Bai Yi's eyes and glared at her displeasedly. Bai Yi smiled innocently at him, which meant that this matter had nothing to do with her and she didn't do anything. After a while, Zheng Xuanjiao came back, followed by Zhou Anning. The classroom was extremely quiet for a while. Zheng Xuanjiao saw all the students looking at her as if they were watching a good show. She walked up to Qiao Ningxun with a face of shame and anger, and bowed to her solemnly, "I'm sorry, Qiao Ningxun. What happened today was my fault. I will never do this again, please forgive me, give me a chance, and don't let me drop out of school." He Yuan Hui said angrily, "Forgive you? If you successfully framed me today, will you forgive my cousin?" Zheng Xuanjiao bowed a little lower, I was wrong, I really know that I was wrong, please give me a chance." Qiao Ningxun looked at Zhou Anning, saw her nodding, and said helplessly, "I can give you the chance." As she said that, she glanced at the people in the classroom, and then her eyes rested on Bai Yi, "As long as the school punishes you, I will forgive you this time. We come to school to study, and no one wants to be suddenly and inexplicably punished by someone framed. Cheating will cast a lifelong shadow on the person who was framed. If someone uses such insidious means to frame me or other students next time, I will call the police. If I end up with the same fate as Li Fangfang, don't blame me for not prioritizing it. Warn. Even if she forgives Zheng Xuanjiao today, her life in the class will not be very good in the future. Let her transfer to another school to free her." She wanted her to be looked down upon and ostracized by her classmates in the class, so that she would regret it and never dare to do bad things again. Bai Yi's eyes were startled. Qiao Ningxun was talking to her. Did she know that she was actually the person behind this incident? How can it be? How could Jiao Ningxun have such ability? But next time she should be really cautious to avoid being called to the police. For a rich man like Jiao Ningxun, if he said he would call the police, he would definitely call the police. Zhou Anning said seriously, Jiao Ningxun is right, I will not be lenient next time. Jiao Ningxun, Zheng Xuanjiao, get up. Zheng Xuanjiao breathed a sigh of relief. If she didn't get up, her waist would be broken. She glanced at He Yuanhui and saw his resentful eyes. She felt cold and returned to her seat. With this incident in the morning, no one dared to cause trouble for the exams in the afternoon and the next day, and they went smoothly. After the exam, tomorrow is October 1st, and all the students have gone home. Even if the senior year of high school is very tight, I will take 2 days off. Suo Hongfeng has been very convinced of Jiao Ningxun since he saw Jiao Ningxun's ability last time and found out the actors with problems. Therefore, when he was hesitant several times, he asked Jiao Ningxun for advice. Of course, every request for advice can be solved smoothly. So Suo Hongfeng and Jiao Ningxun signed an agreement to become Suo Hongfeng's personal consultant with a monthly salary of 1 million. And precisely because of Jiao Ningxun's help, Suo Hongfeng's path to the top of the fault went faster than in his previous life, with fewer detours. Suo Jingguo was watching the news in the living room. When he heard the voice behind him, he turned around and said, I'm back. Suo Hongfeng sat down next to his father and poured a glass of water to drink. Yeah. Thinking of the events of the past few days, Suo Jingguo patted his son on the shoulder and said, you have done a good job in the things you have done for the company recently. Suo Hongfeng said, although I do not formally manage the company's affairs, I know that the company's decisions will harm the company's interests, so of course I have to stop them. Since Jiao Ningxun had told him in advance which of the company's decisions were wrong, he had no reason not to listen. Suo Jingguo was stunned, knowing it? Did you know it beforehand? Suo Hongfeng nodded, I met a very powerful child. She can tell fortunes, and what she says is also very accurate. As long as she asks, she can do it. If she advises me not to do it, then I can't do it. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 278. Suo Jingguo was a little disappointed, so, you consulted her for all the decisions you made before? Of course not. To put it bluntly, she is my cheating device, Suo Hongfeng said. Since it is a cheating device, it must not be used often, otherwise the brain will not know how to think for a long time, and one day it will to become a waste. I only asked her for leave, and her judgment was the same as mine. In other words, I just asked her to make sure. Suo Jingguo breathed a sigh of relief. It would be great if his son had this awareness. People like them must not rely too much on others and let others become their weaknesses. Otherwise, once they lose their reliance, their company and themselves will be in dire straits. You said she can tell fortunes. Yes, her calculations were very accurate. She got every one of the problematic actors in The Story of Nanjin right. I see, but since she can tell fortunes, do you want her to tell your sister's whereabouts? Forget it, Suo Jingguo sighed. I went to her the first time. She said that she could only calculate that she was alive and in Nanjing, but she couldn't calculate other things. She was also very confused. Strangeness. Suo Jingguo, could she be a liar? If she can really tell fortunes, how could she not be able to tell fortunes? Suo Hongfeng, no, she will definitely not lie. I believe her. Seeing his son's vow, Suo Jingguo was a little curious. I really want to meet such a powerful person. Do you have a photo of her? I want to see it. Suo Hongfeng nodded, took out his mobile phone, and sent Jiao Ningxun's photo. Suo Jingguo opened WeChat, clicked on the photo, and smiled when he saw her appearance. Suo Hongfeng saw that his father's reaction was abnormal and asked, "Dad, what's wrong?" Suo Jingguo smiled and said, "This child's features look a bit like mine." Suo Hongfeng was stunned. He opened the photo and compared him and Xiaoning Sun. He was a little surprised. If there is no comparison, I don't think so. After such a comparison, they are indeed very similar. An idea flashed through Suo Jingguo's mind: do you think she is the child who is related to me by blood? Suo Hongfeng calculated his age and said, the age is right, but the child has his own parents, but the parents are divorced, and I heard that his father has remarried now and has a child. Both parents can get pregnant. Xiaoning Sun is probably their biological child, otherwise his father wouldn't be able to get pregnant now. That's right. Suo Jingguo was a little regretful, but Xiaoning Sun was so cute and the kind that elders would like at first sight. Since you trust her so much, find an opportunity and let her come to your home as a guest. Didn't you say that Xingxin offended her last time? If she doesn't come, she will not give up face. Suo Hongfeng: okay, I will talk to her. After dinner, Xiaoning Sun and her cousin were in their room. Although He Yuanyang is in his senior year of high school, if there is a long vacation, he will still take 2 days off. At this time, the three of them are busy decorating Joe's wardrobe on various online platforms, which is their online store. Although Deputy Director Joe has found a few offline customers and is willing to try selling their clothes, the price may be high and it is a new brand, so the results are not very good. Physical stores sell goods too slowly, and online sales are faster, so Xiaoning Sun still focuses on online platforms. Her idea is to build an online store for the time being, and then use her live broadcast to bring goods. Although this is a shortcut, there is nothing wrong with taking a shortcut. Many people cannot leave even if they want to. To build Xingxia clothing into one of the best brands in the world, the process must be as short as possible. The pictures have all been repaired in the factory. In order to save costs, we have not hired models for the time being. If the effect is not good, she plans to hire someone to be a model again. In her opinion, children and girls are the best money to make. Hence, the clothes produced in her factory are clothes for boys and girls aged 5 to 12, and clothes for women aged 16 to 32. Although it's a bit messy, there's nothing wrong with casting a wide net. An hour later, the three of them decorated the online store and waited for Xiaoning Sun's live broadcast to make the store famous. After these days of accumulation, there is a lot of inventory. Xiaoning Sun opened Dolphin Video and started the live broadcast. The anchor is online, here I come. Haha, when I came in there were less than 100 people. I also came in within 100. The anchor is so early today. It seems that he will have a holiday tomorrow, and the anchor will also have time. Anchor, I have always been curious, how is your academic performance? Xiaoning Sun: dear water friends, I am very happy to meet you again. My grades are not bad. I am not selling talisman paper today. Water friends who want talisman paper don't have to wait. I want it today. Recommend something else. Originally, she wanted to count one person and then sell the goods, but there were already more than 100,000 viewers before the fortune telling, so she might as well start selling now. Look, the end of the live broadcast is all about bringing goods, and a company has approached her. That is, all the clothes sold are girls' clothes. What happened to the goods? The anchor has real skills. What's wrong with selling some stuff? If you have the ability, sell it too. That is, this is the live broadcast room of the anchor. If you are not convinced, just hold it in. Xiaoning Sun said sternly, everyone, although I am bringing goods, the goods I bring are guaranteed to be of good quality, with test reports and all, and the styles are also liked by young people. You buy voluntarily, I will not force you. If you like the clothes in my little yellow car, you can contact customer service to maintain long-term cooperation, and we will give you a suitable wholesale price. Some people immediately clicked on the little yellow car to take a look, and found that there were dozens of women's and children's clothes. And the prices range from 500 to 1000. Soon, some people started complaining again. Originally I wanted to support the anchor, but I didn't expect it to be so expensive. The cheapest ones cost 500. I usually wear clothes worth around 100, which is enough for me to buy 5 pieces. Yes, the clothes are good looking, but they are so expensive even if they are not famous brands. The planner of your company is an undercover agent from another company, right? Upstairs, that's enough for you. The anchor doesn't force you to buy it. Every company has its own positioning. They only set the price at that price. If you think it's expensive, don't buy it. Yes, the clothes looked good to me, but they were very expensive, so I gave up on my own initiative. Yeah, it's just clothes worth a few hundred yuan, and you just spray them like this. Those clothes that sell for tens of millions each, the cost is very low, so why don't you spray them? Don't you just think the clothes look good but you think they are expensive, so you want to force the anchor to lower the price? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 279. Chapter 279 The True Identity of Chang Sheng and Chang Sheng. That is. The number of comments that were too expensive in the live broadcast room suddenly decreased a lot. He Yuanhui breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the new batch of clothes made by Xingxia Garment Factory were really good. No, his cousin's design is good. A few days ago, my cousin told him and his eldest brother that they should buy shares in Xingxia Garment Factory and each of them would contribute 1 million, and they would be able to receive dividends every year in the future. He and his eldest brother have never done business, and the cousin will not harm them. They also know that the cousin wants to help them, so they each transferred 1 million to her without thinking. They bought a house again a few days ago, and they don't have much money left. Xiao Ningxun took a look backstage. Although there were many people complaining in the live broadcast room, the trading volume was pretty good. In just 5 minutes, 500 people have already placed orders and sold 1,300 sets of clothes. Some people bought 2 or 3 sets alone. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui were very surprised. This live broadcast really sold more goods than the physical store. They have heard it said before that ordinary clothes are sold for half and half, especially the more expensive clothes. Generally speaking, they earn more. Even if those 1,300 sets of clothes cost an average of 600 yuan each, in just a few minutes, Xingxia Garment Factory made a profit of 390,000 yuan. Director Zhou of Xingxia Garment Factory is also in the live broadcast room. Xiao Ningxun told him that she would try selling online and gave him an account number. Originally, he was not interested in selling things online at all. In his opinion, customers should go to the store and try to buy clothes in person. But I didn't expect that the anchor named Chang Shen Yu Shangshen would be so influential that he could close thousands of orders in a few minutes. Before the garment factory changed hands, the transaction volume of 1,300 orders was not reached in a day even when the garment factory's business was at its best. Xiao Ningxun is really amazing. He just took over the clothing factory and he was able to bring it back to life. Chu Yanyi and Lu Jing'ai have also been watching Xiao Ningxun's live broadcast room. Lu Jing'ai smiled and said, "It seems that her career has started to take off. I thought she would make money entirely from jade, but I didn't expect to invest in a clothing factory first." Chu Yanyi, she is an ambitious person, and she has been to the future in advance. She knows very well what will be popular in the future. If she doesn't take advantage of it, her trip to the future will be in vain. Lu Jing, that's true. Do we need Junhua to take action this time? It's just that she may not need your help anymore. Chu Yanyi, no need. If we take action again, the sewing machines in her factory will start to smoke. Let's wait until her production capacity is increased in the future. Let her walk step by step on her own. Helping too much will be counterproductive. She is still a child, so let her take it easy. Lu Jing, haha, I think so too. She is not short of money at the moment anyway. At the same time, Qiaoningsun's live broadcast room received a large number of complaints. There are many reasons for complaints. There are insults and slander, false propaganda, advertising harassment, etc. Of course, pictures of clothes involve copyright, and the most common reason is infringement. However, Qiaoningsun has already registered it with the authorities, so she is not afraid of those people's reports. Mr. Zhou of Dolphin Video has been staring at Qiaoningsun's live broadcast room. As the CEO, he knows the true identity of Changsheng and Changsheng best. However, there is an order from above that, except for those who can cooperate with him out of obligation, he is not allowed to disclose any information related to immortality and immortality to others. Therefore, although Changsheng's live broadcast room has been seen by many people, there are also people who asked him about Changsheng's true identity, but he concealed all of them. At this time, the assistant knocked on the door and walked in. Mr. Zhou, there have been a lot of complaints in Changsheng's live broadcast room, especially about the clothes she sold today. Many people said she infringed the law. You see. Mr. Zhou said, she has registered it with the company in advance. She owns the copyright of those designs. Those people are all her peers. She is just jealous, so don't worry about them. I have to say that Changsheng's live broadcast room has indeed brought a lot of traffic to their company. How could she close her live broadcast room just because of a few unwarranted complaints? The assistant said, okay, Mr. Zhou. Seeing the steady increase in transaction volume, Qiaoningsun said with a smile, thank you all for your support. Our clothes are all sent directly from the manufacturer. We have not asked anyone to advertise for the time being. There are no middlemen to make profit. We guarantee that we will get what we buy value. We also insure every piece of clothing with freight insurance. As long as it does not affect secondary sales, we will refund you. You support me so much, and I have to give you benefits. If I tell your fortune today, I will choose from the people who have bought my clothes. Of course, you still have to pay, and the price is the same as usual. In this way, there will be much fewer competitors. It is true that in the past, there were at least hundreds of thousands of people fighting for each item, but now there are only a few thousand people buying clothes, so the possibility of grabbing them has greatly increased. Anchor, this is unfair. We men don't need to buy clothes at all, we only need fortune telling. As a middle-aged man, I don't need to buy clothes, I just need fortune telling. You can buy the above for your family members. Who says men don't need to buy clothes? My mother bought all my clothes when I was a child. If my dad suddenly bought me clothes one day, I would be so happy. Anchor, if they return the goods after calculating your fate, wouldn't you lose money? That's right, there are still a lot of people with low moral character nowadays. Anchor, change the rules. Qiaoningsun, I know that some people will definitely place an order first for fortune telling. After placing the order, the fortune will be told and then returned. Don't worry, everyone. The anchor's fortune telling ability has improved a lot recently. If there are people who will return the goods after the fortune is told, the anchor can calculate it in advance and won't do it for him. Is the anchor trying to scare people? The one upstairs, don't believe it, the anchor is very powerful. Yes, if the anchor says it, it can definitely be done. Qiaoningsun, if you can't tell your fortune today, you can tell it tomorrow. My water friends and fans support me so much, and I have spoken out. Fortune must be told. In addition, starting from today, I will announce a new rule, that is, if someone invites me to tell fortunes offline, I can also agree, but the fee is more expensive. People who need it can make an appointment for the specific number of interviews. For the time being, it is only for people in Nanjing. Wow, can you meet the host offline now? Great, great, I can finally meet the host. I went to make an appointment. Haha, you are too confident. The anchor will definitely hide his appearance when he tells fortunes offline. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 280. Qiaoning Sun, yes, I only accept cash every time. Please have cash ready when the time comes. Okay. Good. Qiaoning Sun, okay, those who like clothes will continue to buy clothes, and those who like to listen to fortune telling and fortune telling, let's start now. The ninth fortune teller is the first quoted today. Soon, the ninth fortune teller appeared, nicknamed my little son. People in the live broadcast room now know the rules very well, and generally do not need Qiaoning Sun to remind them. They pay consciously and apply for connection. Qiaoning Sun connected to the line, and a woman wearing a mask appeared in the live broadcast room. Qiaoning Sun, hello, my little Sunday. My little son, hello, anchor. Qiaoning Sun, what do you want to do? My little son hesitated for a moment, then said it, anchor, I would like to ask, should my daughter's child be kept? As she spoke, her tone was filled with tears, my daughter is so pitiful. Just 3 months after we got married, my son-in-law died in an accident. But God made a joke with her. She already had some blood in her belly. My son-in-law is the only son in my in-laws family. He was very happy when he found out that my daughter was pregnant, and he gradually got over the sadness of losing the child. They said that as long as my daughter gives birth to a child, all the property of their family will belong to my daughter's child. After the child is born, they will give her a house and 1 million in cash to ensure that she will not be responsible for raising the child alone and live in poverty. But I'm worried that they are just painting a cake for my daughter after all. Who can say for sure what will happen in the future, and there are also cases where a girl's parents-in-law turn against her after giving birth to a posthumous child. That girl is living a very hard life now. Her parents are sick at the same time she has to take care of 3 people by herself, and her monthly salary is only 3,000 yuan. Her life is really miserable. I'm really worried that my daughter will live like that in the future. If her father and I get sick, her life will be over. The posthumous son is the only bloodline left in the groom's family. It's better to keep him, otherwise the old man will be too pitiful. Yes, only when you have children and care for the elderly can you have hope of living. I also agree to be born. Upstairs, don't be too holy. You know people's faces but not their hearts. You think about others, but others sometimes want to sacrifice your life. That's right, the blame has not fallen on you, of course you can say whatever you want. The posthumous son, the son's only child, and the only bloodline of their family, anyone should recognize him. That is not necessarily the case. Some family members prefer sons over daughters. If they knew the baby was a girl, they would still not recognize their granddaughter. Yes, some old antiques always feel that they must have a son if their family has a throne to inherit. Her worries are normal. I also have people here who fall out when a daughter is born, but the woman's family is rich and her life is pretty good now. It can be given birth to, and if the man recognizes it, he will raise it. If you don't recognize it, consider giving it away. Stop talking, listen to the anchor's opinion. Qiaoning Sun coughed lightly. It must be said that there are still quite a lot of sober people on the internet. Some water friends are right, and your concerns are also right. The child has not been born yet, and you don't know what will happen in the future. But the husband's parents really wanted your daughter to have a child, and the promises they made were sincere, but things are changing, and this idea has changed now. My little son is puzzled. Anchor, what happened to make them change their minds? Chiaoning Suan, your son-in-law is only 24 years old this year, and their parents are only in their 40s. They have always wanted a daughter. Even if the child is married, they have no intention of giving up. They have been taking care of their health, preparing for pregnancy. And your biological mother is now pregnant successfully, but it has not been announced yet. 3 days later, your biological mother will announce that she is pregnant. The arrival of this child will turn all her attention to herself. And they are very superstitious. The time when your biological mother was pregnant was probably 2 days before their son died. So they firmly believe that their son was reborn in the belly of your biological mother. Of course she won't care about your daughter's children. In addition, people around her have been telling her that your daughter is too beautiful, and the child in your daughter's belly may not be her biological grandson. She will have seeds of doubt in her heart, even if your daughter gives birth to a child. And she will never fulfill her original promise. My little son was surprised. What? My biological mother is actually pregnant. Chiaoning Suan, yes. Oh my God, I'm over 40 and I still have to give birth. There are many people around me who are in their 40s and want to have children. They say that as they get older, their children will get older. They say it very easily. They have no idea how difficult it is to raise a child now. That is, various interest classes now cost a lot of money, and if a child's grades are not good, various cram schools also cost money. I knew that the internet would help me increase my knowledge. In this case, my little son-daughter's child cannot be kept, and the grandma will not recognize it even if it is kept. But when I think that it is a life after all, it will turn into a puddle of blood, it always feels sinful. But if my little son aborts the child and remarries later, he can still live a normal life. If he keeps the child, although he can remarry, both adults and children will definitely suffer in the future. My little Taeyang really didn't believe that his in-law's mother-in-law, who had spoken sincerely before, had lied to him, so he couldn't help but call to confirm. The call was quickly answered. My mother-in-law, it's me. Well, is something wrong? My mother-in-law, let me ask you a question, please answer me honestly. Let me see what the specific question is, and I'll see if you can answer it or not. You can definitely answer. Let me ask you, are you pregnant again? Lei Gai Miao was silent for a minute, and then she said, yes, how did you know? I didn't tell anyone, even my husband didn't know. She deliberately didn't say anything and wanted to wait until her daughter-in-law was 6 or 7 months old before announcing it. If the daughter-in-law knew that she also had a child, she would definitely not be willing to give birth. Her son is really pitiful, and she really wants her daughter-in-law to leave him a wife. My little Taeyang suddenly became excited. My mother-in-law, don't worry about how I know this. I'm not like you. You already have a child yourself, and you have a daughter-in-law at home. Why do you force my daughter to give birth to a child for your son?